Are we going up Willy Wonka in the glass elevator style? Is it more like a shaky Spirit Airlines flight?
We are ready for the rapture. I don't know if you guys know this, but these girls are definitely being beamed straight to heaven.
If Jesus is coming, then do I have to go into work?
Okay, if you're seeing this, the rapture didn't happen, at least not to you, and yes, you have to go to work. It's the latest internet end times obsession, and here's where it started. A prophecy in July from a South African pastor. He believed he had evidence pointing to the date of the rapture, which was earlier this week. He was wrong, and he's not the first. History is filled with failed apocalypse predictions. We all remember the Mayan calendar ending in 2012. Judgment Day was supposed to come in 2011. There was Y2K in 2000. And the thing is, doomsday prophecies date as far back as 1666. Christians feared the world would end then because 666 is a sign of the beast. So joining me now to talk about end time obsessions, we've got an expert, Steve Wohlberg. He's a speaker and director of White Horse Media. He's also the author of a book called End Time Delusions, which talks all about these rapture teachings and where they came from. Steve, thanks so much for being with us.
Yes, good morning, Adi. Thank you for having me. It's been quite a couple days with all of this TikTok rapture craze, so thanks for having me.
Why do you think this caught on in particular, right? It kicked off earlier in the summer and until we're here in the fall and people have tinfoil hats on their cats.
Well, I think it started with this South African pastor. He apparently thought that God was talking to him, and he started, making videos, and it went viral. And I think it's just unfortunate. Human nature tends to extremes, and there's so many things going on in the world right now. People believe we're in apocalyptic times, and they're unfortunately, they've been pulled into the latest craze, and yet Jesus said clearly, nobody knows the day or the hour. So it's a false movement, and now it's behind us, really.
Can you talk more about the actual biblical teachings, just to give people some context about what's in there?
Yes, the Bible is very clear that Jesus went to heaven at the end of his life, and that he's coming back again. And throughout the history of Christianity, the basic biblical truth is that he will return at the very end, the last day, visibly. It'll be loud, cataclysmic. Every eye will see him. He'll be coming with billions of angels, and it's not going to be a secret where Christians just disappear. But unfortunately, in the 1800s, a new teaching started working its way into Christian thinking. It was connected to Edward Irving and John Nelson Darby. It worked its way into the footnotes of the Scofield Reference Bible, and then it was brought into the American Protestant seminaries like Dallas Theological Seminary. Hal Lindsey in the 1970s popularized it with his book, The Late Great Planet Earth, and then the Left Behind novels, it just took off, co-authored by Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. I have a chapter in my book called The Path of the Virus, where I trace this intro into Christianity, and now it's just become just an incredible craze. And yet the Bible does not teach disappearing Christians, that we're just going to vanish. It teaches that Jesus is coming back. Again, every eye will see him at the very end. Yeah. It's not going to be secret. No one's going to wake up and wonder, where did all the Christians go?
So why do you call it a virus?
Well, that was just a term I used in my book to illustrate that it's a foreign teaching that worked its way into Christianity. It wasn't taught in the first 1800 years of Christian history. The Christian church and the Bible basically teaches, again, that he's going to come at the end. It's going to be loud, visible. Christians aren't just going to vanish with a poof, leaving their clothes behind or their false teeth behind. And so I just use this as an illustration that this teaching is a virus that has infected Christian thinking of the end times. And this is the latest evidence of that virus.
You said something at the start of this conversation about people feeling like it's apocalyptic times. And I know it seems pretty obvious if there's social upheaval, if there's violence, economic stability. Is that what we see in history as well? And what is it about what's going on now that you think has drawn people to this kind of moment?
Sure. Well, in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, Jesus gave a list of what we could call signs of things that would be happening and trending before he returns. And many of these things have happened throughout history. But I think people just sense that they're intensifying. There's more natural disasters. There's more immorality. There's just increased stress upon the earth. And there's just a lot of people that are looking around and they're thinking, something's coming, something's happening, something big is around the corner. And they are turning to the Bible to try to figure things out. And
but isn't
unfortunately,
it cross cultures? I mean, what's the difference between them and the Mayans?
Yeah, that's right. It's been happening for a long time. This is not new. There's been, Y2K, 2012, the Mayan calendar. People tend to just gravitate towards some sensational teaching that says it's coming on a certain day. But Jesus made it very clear in Matthew 24, verse 36, that no man knows the day or the hour. So unfortunately, you have people that, pick dates, set them, and the result is that they result in disillusionment. People are, they believe it and then it doesn't happen. So they give up their faith. It gives Christianity and the Bible a bad name. And it's an unfortunate tragedy.
All right, Steve Wohlberg. He's the author of a book called End Time Delusions. Thank you for talking with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.